Hi everyone, this is Kona, and I am going to demo how the new Move feature works for questions and question groups. So first of all, it does work a little bit differently than depending on whether you're working in a group or with just individual questions. So first of all, I'm just showing you this is the question group. It's called 10 randomized questions just because we're picking 10 questions, 1 point each. And you can see that there's a ton of questions here in this group, right? Lots and lots of questions. I then also have another question group that doesn't have any questions in it. It's called important questions. Everyone gets pick one. It's not going to be a pick one. I would change that once I figure out how many questions go in there. But let's say I want, let's see, and these are just individual questions. This question moved up into one of those groups. Well, normally what you would do is the drag and drop, where you would grab it over here in this left-hand corner of the question, and you would just move it around. For this, though, the new thing is you just kind of go over to that question where you would normally drag and drop, and instead you just click on it, and you get this new Move Item box. And so first of all, it offers to you do you want to move it into a question group? So if you want to move it into a question group, you just click the box and pick if you want to move it into whichever question group. So you just say, yep, I want it here, or I want it there. And you would go ahead and save it, and if you scroll back up, there it is. So you can just kind of click and now do that. That's going to make life a lot easier. What if you're just trying to rearrange? So what if you want that at the beginning? So I want this to be the very first question. Instead of using the question group, what you're going to do is use that place feature and say, I want it, and the before 10 randomized questions, that's a question group. So if I click that one, it's going to actually move this question before that question group. Here's a different question group, so you can move questions before question groups, and then you can also move them before or in between other individual questions, and you can also just move it to the bottom. So maybe it's at the top of the list and you want to move it to the bottom. But you can literally just sit here and pick and choose. So I'm going to move it to the before, then click save. And now if I scroll all the way back up, and there's that question, it's been moved before all of these questions. Now it's going to be a little bit different. So that, remember, those were questions that were not in a question group. Those were just questions that were kind of hanging out. Now if you do this for an actual question within a question group, first of all, you can still move it between questions. So, I mean, it's already in the 10 randomized questions, but you could move it into a different question group. So that doesn't change. What's going to change is that place part. So the place, you can move it before the question group, you can move it before this question group, but then if you look at these questions are not questions that are in the question group. So you are not given the option to organize questions within a question group. The reason for that, they're randomized. So at least Canvas doesn't see any reason for you to be able to, or that you should want to, organize questions within a question group, because when the students see them, they are completely randomized. So that's why the questions you see here are not going to align up with the questions in the 10 randomized questions question group. These are the individual questions that are not in a question group. So just wanted to get that one out there. It is kind of confusing, but hopefully you guys will really appreciate this. I know just the little bit I've been playing around with it, I think it's pretty darn awesome. So also, once you've made these changes, make sure you scroll down to the very bottom and click the save button. Otherwise, none of your changes will get saved. So that's it. Hope you enjoy and have fun.